Hello, my most amazing artists. We made it till Tuesday. That means Christmas is only in 17 more days. Before I show you what amazing thing we're going to draw today, I wanted to tell you guys about the artist from our artist leaderboard. Today, our artist on our artist leaderboard is Luca. Check out the awesome picture that Luca made for Monday's Advent wreath. I love that Luca followed the directions. I love that Luca added his own special touches to his picture, including the shadow of the Christ candle. I think that is so cool. And I also love that Luca used his entire page to make his picture. Awesome job, Luca. I'm super excited to see who I choose for Thursday's artist leaderboard. Now that I've talked about our artist leaderboard, it's time to talk about what we are making today. Today, we're going to make some symmetrical elf legs just in time for Christmas. These are our symmetrical elf legs that we are going to make today. But before we can make them, we need to talk a little bit about symmetry. Symmetry in art is when something is the same on both sides or is a mirror image. You might have heard of symmetry before in maybe math class. Symmetry is when something is the same on both sides. So when two halves are the same. For example, if I drew a butterfly and I made both sides the same, this butterfly would be symmetrical. If you look at my triangle over here that I tried to draw symmetrically, this side is an awful lot smaller than this side over here. So this is not symmetrical. Take a look at my butterfly though. My butterfly has the same proportions on both sides, and if I even added decorations, say I wanted to put some dots on my butterfly, if I put 4 dots on my butterfly, 1 on each side, it would still remain symmetrical. So symmetry is when something is a mirror image or when something is the same on both sides. So if I showed you these elf legs here, you can see in my elf legs that everything I drew on one elf leg, I also drew on the other. And then when you look at the top of the elf costume, you can see that if I folded this costume in half, both sides would still look the same. So we're going to be using symmetry in our art today to make both sides of our elf's legs look the same. Pattern is a word that you probably already know what it means, but a pattern is anything that repeats itself. So you could have a pattern of just circles, and that would be just circles all the way in a row. Or if you wanted to make the pattern more interesting, you could make a pattern of triangle, circle, triangle, circle, triangle, circle, and it would go on like that forever. There are other patterns you might see. You might see a pattern of a spiral, a line that just repeats itself forever. You could see a pattern in lines. There's a pattern called a chevron line. This pattern looks like this. It's when you use zigzag lines, one on top of the other. This is called a chevron pattern. But there are patterns all around us, and you're going to be using some of them today when you design your elf's legs. So when we talk about turning in your elf's legs, before you draw this, think in your mind what you are going to turn into me today. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this, and then it's your job to make your own and put your own details and your own spin on it. However, you might be thinking, Miss Conklin, what do? I don't have any markers. I don't have any crayons. All I have is my pencil. Fear not. Even if you just have a pencil, you can still complete this project. Check out this example that I made. I only used my pencil, and I still got to include contrast, shade, and color by using different shades of gray and black and the white of my paper, and my picture still looks amazing. Both of these pictures, for example, would be 4-star pictures. These two pictures, these two examples I made would be a 4-star grade. Let me show you some examples of things that might not be a 4-star grade. If you are rushing and coloring quickly and not taking your time, not thinking about the art, you are going to get probably a 2-star grade. Check this out right here. You can see this person, they didn't make their legs symmetrical. They didn't take very much time drawing their picture. I can tell that they rushed and they didn't put much thought or any details into it. Look, it's missing a lot of detail. Again, another example of something you might not want to submit is one of these here. Check this out. This person hardly used any of their paper. Sometimes I get submissions like this where I have to squint to see if anyone drew anything at all. Make sure when you're drawing your picture that you use as much of the paper as possible. I'm looking for something that uses the whole paper. I'm using for something that has symmetry, and I'm looking for something that has pattern. I'm not looking for something that is colored because you can color it with your pencil if you need to. However, if you do have markers or crayons at home, I would love it if you did add color. That would be an extra awesome step that you're totally welcome to do and make it your own. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you how you're going to make your own elf legs. Let's get started. All right, for this first part, we're going to need a piece of paper and you're going to need something to draw with. When you start, make sure that your paper is not horizontal, but it is instead vertical. So make sure your paper is long ways in front of you, and we're going to start by drawing our elf's body. So taking your marker and finding the top of your paper, we're going to draw the bottom part of our elf's body. So I'm going to do that by drawing 2 parallel lines coming from the top of my paper down. And I'm only going to make this line about as long as my thumb. So I'm going to make this line as long as my thumb, and I can use my thumb to measure. And I'm going to draw a second line because they're parallel, and parallel lines means there are always 2. So I'm going to draw a second line on the other side, close to the edge of my paper, and it's going to be about as long as my thumb. All right. So now that I have 2 parallel lines coming down from the top of my paper, I am going to finish the bottom of my elf's costume with a large oval. To make my large oval, I'm going to start by drawing a straight line across the bottom of my elf's body, and then I'm going to draw a curved line on either side. So a curved line like a letter D or a letter C, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Then I'm going to finish my elf's body by drawing a straight line at the bottom. All right, so now we have the bottom of our elf's body. How does yours look? Go ahead and pause here and take a minute to make sure that we both have the bottom of our elf's body. Once you have the bottom of your elf's body, you're ready to draw our 2 legs. Since we want our elf to be symmetrical, that means we want everything to be the same on both sides. So we're going to draw 2 legs, one on either side of our elf's body. So I'm going to draw 1 leg on this side and 1 leg on this side. I'm going to take my pencil or my pen and I'm going to draw 1 straight line coming down from my elf's body. And I'm going to draw another one right next to it. This is my elf's leg. Now I need to finish with my elf's foot or my elf's shoe. So I'm going to use a zigzag line across the bottom of my elf's leg to be my top of my elf's shoe. And I'm going to just connect these lines to make sure they're all connected. So I'm going to pause here. You should pause here if you need to. We're drawing our first leg and then the top of our elf's shoe. And our elf's shoe is going to curl up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the front of my shoe, and I'm going to do this by drawing a letter J. So I'm going to find the bottom of my zigzag line, and I'm going to draw a letter J that goes down and back up. Kind of looks like a backwards letter J. This is going to be the top of our shoe. Now find the end of that curve that you just drew and you're going to draw a curve that goes back towards the bottom of your paper. Now we're going to draw a line straight across, and our line straight across is going to go all the way across, and it's going to stop when we get to where our zigzag line stops. So here we go. We're going to draw a line all the way across, and we're going to stop when we get to where our zigzag line stops. I want to pause here so you guys can get your shoe started. All right, the last thing we have to do to finish our elf's shoe is to connect the zigzag line up here with the straight line at the bottom, and we're going to do that with one line, like that. All right, now because we're doing a drawing that is symmetrical, we need to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to draw 2 straight lines for the leg. 1, 2. And then we're going to draw the same type of line at the top of our shoe, so a zigzag line at the top. Then we're going to draw the letter J at the bottom of our shoe, just like that. So draw your letter J. Then you're going to do the curved line that goes back towards the inside of your paper. So find the end of your letter J, and you're going to draw a curved line that goes back towards the inside of your paper. Sort of like this. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a long straight line that goes along the bottom of your paper and stops where the end of your zigzag line stops. Like that. And then the very last thing you're going to do is connect your zigzag line to your straight line at the bottom, like this. Awesome. Now you should have 2 matching elf legs, the bottom of your elf's body, and 2 elf shoes. Now it's time for us to decorate. Because we are making something that is symmetrical, we need to make sure that whatever we put on this side of our body goes on this side of our body. I am going to pop up a picture of some different types of lines you might use in the legs to make a pattern on legs. If you make a pattern on this side, whatever pattern you make on this side, you have to make on this side. So take a look at these different types of lines and think about maybe a pattern you could make with these lines, or a different kind of festive pattern, maybe a pattern more festive for the holidays. You could do a chevron pattern, you could do a striped pattern, a zigzag pattern, any sort of pattern you would like, but whatever pattern you do on this leg, you have to do on this leg. I'm going to start by starting my pattern, and I think I am going to do some different sorts of lines. So I'm going to do a wavy line, and then maybe I will do a maybe a wavy line, and then maybe a straight line, and then a wavy line, and then a straight line, and then a wavy line. And then I ran out of room. I wonder what kind of pattern you're going to make, and I'm really excited to see your patterns on your elf legs. So because my picture is symmetrical, whatever I draw on this side, I have to draw on this side. So I'm going to draw my wavy line, and then I'm going to draw my straight line. Then next is a wavy line, because I have to make them symmetrical, so they have to match. They have to look exactly alike. And then a straight line. And then one more wavy line. And then now it's time for me to decorate my elf's boots. I think for my elf boots, I'm going to draw some snowflakes. So when I draw snowflakes, I like to start by drawing a X, and then I like to put a line down the middle and a line across. And then sometimes I like to put little circles at the end. I'm excited to see how you guys decorate your elves' shoes. You could continue doing different types of lines, or maybe you want to put Christmas ornaments on your elf shoes, or maybe you want to put bows on your elf shoes. It's up to you how you decorate these shoes. But because I'm doing snowflakes on this shoe, it means I have to do snowflakes on this shoe. So I need to draw 2 snowflakes. I draw my X, I draw my straight line down the middle, and my straight line across. And you can see here this snowflake doesn't look exactly like this snowflake, but that's okay because I tried my best to make sure that they're both snowflakes. X, straight line down, straight line across, and I'm going to put my little balls on the end of my snowflake. Then maybe I want to put a decoration at the bottom of my shoe because these shoes look a little bit boring. So I think I'm going to put a zigzag line down here at the bottom of these shoes. Remember, all those little details that you add are what makes your picture amazing. Then maybe I could add something hanging off the top of my shoe, and I think I'm going to put another snowflake here. So I'm going to draw a X, a line down the middle, and a line across, and I'm going to have little snowflakes coming off my elf's shoes. You could maybe put bells hanging off your elf's shoes or Christmas ornaments. That's up to you. And because I'm making a symmetrical drawing, whatever I draw on this side, I must draw on this side. All right, now it is time to decorate my elf's clothes. For my elf's clothes, I'm also making a pattern, and my pattern has to be symmetrical. So I think for the bottom of my elf's clothing, I think I'm going to do a dash line all the way across. And I think I'm just going to do a pattern of dash lines. So just one pattern of dash lines all the way across. And then I think up here at the top, I'm going to do a curly line and then a scalloped line. And then I think I'm going to do another curly line. And then if I had more room, I would do another scalloped line up there. All right, my elf's legs are finished being drawn. Check out my awesome elf feet. I have 2 symmetrical elf feet, and so should you. Your drawing should be big. It should fill up your whole paper, just like mine does. Everything you draw on the right side, you must have drawn on the left side. So take this minute now to check and make sure that whatever you drew on the right side, you've also drawn on the left side of your paper. Now that you've drawn your elf's legs, it is time to add some color. If you have colors at home, this could be markers, this could be pens, this could even be crayons or maybe even like a highlighter. You can decorate your elf's legs. Now, when you are decorating your elf's legs, you want to think about symmetry in your colors. So whatever color you use on this side, you also want to use on that side. So I'm going to start by decorating my elf's legs, and I'm going to go ahead and get coloring, and I will see you guys at the end of the video. If you have colors, you're going to want to use your markers or your crayons now. If you don't have colors, what I would like you to do is use your pencil to create value. So use dark to light with your pencil to create shading in your picture instead of adding color. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Bye.